Man, they're going to lead a lot more of that cheering, man. 0-3. It's not pretty. Welcome, Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital. Talking New York Jets football with you today. One of those New York 0-3 teams. It's hard. I know it's hard, but we're on this case. We're going to stay on this case. And there are, I dare I say, some silver linings, I think, to talk about. And we've got a trade in the works as well. Today's broadcast brought to you by our friends at Play It Again Sports. We'll hear a little bit more from our friends at Play It Again in just a little bit. But let's bring in our Jets insider. We talk to him every week about all things Jets. It's the one, the only Jake Asman. What's up, Jake? How are you?
What's up, guys? Always a pleasure to join you.
Well, Jake, let's get right to that, because I didn't even look at your face in the green room before you came up. When Lerch said, well, there's some silver linings, I'm like, I can only imagine what inner things inside Jake when he heard that would say with the Jets at 0-3. So, Jake, you have been and why wouldn't we be as Jet fans at 0-3 not be upset? But you have been particularly upset with what you've seen thus far with this team at 0-3 from the new head coach, Aaron Glenn, and this squad.
Yeah, I don't think they've been a really well-coached team so far. And we were sold a bill of goods that they would be a well-coached team. And it's easy to say, well, what did you expect? I mean, I didn't expect the defense to be on pace to allow the most points in franchise history. I didn't expect the defense that has 8 of its 11 starters back year over year to be this dreadful, to basically not be able to get a stop in 2 of their 3 games, where if they did get a stop, they'd have a winning record right now. We'd be able to basically excuse away how bad that performance was week 2 against the Bills. It's just very disheartening. And we're going to learn a lot coming up, because if you want to say the schedule was really difficult early, combined record of the Jets opponents is 8-1. Okay, fine. Better go win on Monday now. You're playing a Dolphins team that is winless. It feels like there's a lot of internal strife in that locker room with the coach and Tyreek Hill and everything going on there. The Jets want to say they're not the same old Jets, right? Aaron Glenn said that the other day. Then go beat the Dolphins, because there's no excuse to not do that if you're going to claim you're not the same old Jets.
All right, early prediction here, gentlemen. They beat the Dolphins, and of course, they beat the Cowboys in 2 weeks. We'll actually be at that game, Boy Green and myself, all right? And then we'll be 2-3, and it's not, as bleak. But let me, I am going to go positive first, even though I know there's a lot of things to talk about. But let me go positive first, because that play that Will McDonald made was an incredible play, and it's too bad it didn't turn out to be the game-defining play that got the Jets their first win this season, because it had all the ingredients. And I got to admit, I know you got your criticisms of Aaron Glenn, but that dance, I like that thing. I wish I could recreate that. That was I wish I could do that thing. That was fantastic. Let's talk about that play, Jake.
Yeah, the play itself is amazing. And I honestly, it's one of the greatest plays the Jets have ever had in their franchise's history, like given the moment, right? Like you're trailing late. That play gave you the lead with under 2 minutes to go in a game that you had no business being in. I mean, the Jets were outclassed. I was at the game. They were outclassed for 3 of the 4 quarters, and they put together a couple of nice drives. And, I think part of it was the Bucs were banged up. No Mike Evans down the stretch. They committed 14 penalties. Like the Bucs did everything possible to allow the Jets to steal that one and to waste that play, because you just knew after, like, you came down from the excitement of, oh my God, wow, the Jets had the lead. Like, there's 2 minutes left still. Like, that's way too much time for Baker Mayfield. And you knew the Jet defense, they were not going to get a stop. They haven't gotten a stop all year. They haven't forced a turnover all year. So I knew they weren't going to win. I said it to the people I was sitting with. I go, they're still going to lose. And I hate to be that guy, because I used to be considered a positive Jet fan, but I've seen nothing from this team that would allow me to be positive. So it's a shame, because that play by McDonald was amazing. And it was awesome to see Aaron Glenn be excited, and like, love it, man. You should be excited, but to then still lose and waste that play, and an amazing play-by-play call, by the way, by Bob Wischusen on radio. It's just, it's tough. It really is. It's so frustrating, because they should not be winless right now.
So, Jake, the Jets defense is set to get worse. We heard this week that Quincy Williams goes to injured reserve, and you were at the game. He was lighting it up. He was on fire. And then his backup, who also had some starting reps as linebackers rotated in and out, Marcelino McCrary-Ball, he's on injured reserve now. So you're missing your linebacker 2 and your linebacker 3 for the next month. And Jamin Sherwood, your linebacker 1, essentially the leader of your team, has played terrible so far this season. So how much worse could this Jets defense possibly get?
I mean, you almost think by accident they have to be a little better, even without Quincy, because they've been so bad. You know what I mean? Like maybe a ball will roll their way and they could get a turnover that will, help them, or a batted pass they actually catch. I mean, I'm very concerned, though. I mean, Look, Quincy is a really good player. He hasn't had the best season so far, but you want him out there over anyone else that's now behind him. So, look, the Jets' best players need to start playing like their best players. I think the only guy on this defense that I think has lived up to it has been Quinnen Williams so far. You need more from Sauce. You need more from Michael Carter. I thought Sherwood was better Sunday, but I need more from him. Hopefully they get Jermaine Johnson back this week. We'll see. We're not going to know that until the first injury report starts to come out tomorrow. Look, it's very concerning, Paul. There's no doubt. I mean, the defense has been a major problem. And look, I didn't expect them to be the 85 Bears, but when your head coach is a defensive-minded coach and Steve Wilkes is an experienced DC, and you do have all these starters back year over year, you shouldn't be this bad. And I think that's so disappointing.
Jake, let's talk about the trade. The Jets did make a trade. It may not be a household name, but this is a guy that's been starting in the NFL. He's a very young player, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. from Tennessee. The Jets gave away basically a bag of donuts for him. I mean, they swapped the 6th and the 7th next year. Wow. For a starter, I'd do that any day, twice on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's not always the best gauge of things, but Titans fans were very upset that their front office traded this player. And you're right, Jim. I mean, they got him for nothing, a 6th-round pick. I mean, look, the Jets' day 3 picks under Darren Muji, and it's early, and I understand all that, but they have not been good. So I'd rather take the proven commodity, and if I could get someone who Titans fans seem to be bullish on, yes, he's had penalties, but he's also made plays. Like, you got a corner now under control for a couple more years, and it only cost you a 6th-round pick. Like, chances are you're not going to get a player as good as this guy already is with that 6th-round pick. So I love it. I think some of the best moves the Jets actually have made have involved acquiring guys for 6th-rounders. The Harrison Phillips trade and the Jawan Briggs trade, those have been good moves. It hasn't led to the defense playing well, but it's not necessarily their fault. So I like the trade. I do wonder what it means for Brandon Stevens and Michael Carter. Could Stevens go to safety? Could Michael Carter, who played safety in college, maybe be moved there, and they allow an opportunity for this new corner to get some reps? We'll see. I do think ultimately, though, I like the idea of taking late round picks and bringing in proven commodities. So good trade in my mind.
Yeah, and you mentioned the penalties. I think in his rookie season, which was last year, 14 penalties against Brownlee. But I was reading through it a little bit. I mean, if you sift through the ruins a little bit, I mean, it sounds like he's a physical guy. I mean, like all corners, they get grabby. I'm not so alarmed by it. I mean, you don't want it to become a habit, and certainly discipline has been an issue with this Jets defense. But I mean, to me, to get a starting player, again, I go back to what I originally said. I think it was a bit of a steal. How much of an impact he has, I don't know, but I still think it's a bit of a steal.
Agreed. I'm all for it. And I hope that whatever their issues are, they solve them fast, because going back to the schedule, like, these are winnable games coming up, and Miami's allowed a ton of points per game. There's no excuse for the Jets to not be able to score. And if their defense could just show a pulse, force a turnover, I think they can win Monday, but it's tough to feel very confident in that given what we have seen so far.
Jake, how far away are we from, like, Steve Wilkes is defensive coordinator and Aaron Glenn wanted to be the HC. He wanted to, delegate, and Tanner Engstrand, you're the offensive guy. Steve Wilkes, you're the defensive guy, and I'm Aaron Glenn, the coach that has no label, but I'm just wherever I'm needed. How long does he wait until he goes, I got to step in here and either have more influence over what's happening on defense or to straight up take over play calling? We're only 3 weeks into the season, but it could get late early if the Jets all of a sudden start falling apart here.
Yeah, I don't know if Glenn is going to do that. I think he's not going to make Wilkes the fall guy. I could be dead wrong. I mean, the way Glenn has talked about his faith in the coaching staff and the utmost confidence he has in his coordinators, I don't think he's going to do it. I'd be surprised, but I hope I'm wrong. Like, if the defense continues to stink, Aaron Glenn, you became a head coach because of your ability to coordinate a defense. You might need to tap back into that, because the defense has been by far and away the biggest issue with this team.
With Jake. Asman, go ahead, Boy Green, jump in.
Yeah. I just wanted to say all of them. So Darren Muji's made a lot of moves this week. The trade, of course, was surprising. None of us saw that coming. They steal a linebacker off the Patriots practice squad, throw him into the group. What do these flurry of activity say to you about Darren Muji? Does it say anything, or should that be inspiring for some Jet fans that, same thing for the Harrison Phillips, Jawan Briggs? We all said, oh boy, defensive tackle looks like a big problem. And then he strikes a pair of trades right before, and then they fill it. So an ability to adapt here. Should Darren Muji's activity level, the increase level over the last couple of days, send some sort of message to Jet fans? And if so, what is it?
I like how they're trying to address clear weaknesses. I think that's a positive, but they haven't done it enough. Like they still went into this year with no wide receiver 2, with no depth on the defensive edge. That's why, Jermaine Johnson coming off injury, he suffers an ankle injury. Well, Michael Clemens is now playing all the time, and the guys behind him are just as bad. I mean, I question just if that's possible, but apparently they are, which is why Clemens keeps getting all this playing time. I mean, they traded up for Tyler Barron. He was inactive the other day. He only had to play this past week because Jermaine went down. So I just think it's been a very, very poor showing by both the front office and the coaching staff early on here. They've done some good moves front office wise. We mentioned the 2 trades they made over the summer. We talked about how I'm a fan of the deal they made yesterday, but a lot of these issues we knew as fans were problems. And for whatever reason, they either neglected it or just thought that they could overcome it, like keeping Xavier Gibson on the team. That cost them a win. Clemens still being here, receiver issues, defensive end issues. I mean, it's been very unimpressive so far.
Talking with Jake Asman, ESPN Radio. You see the mic flag right there in the picture, and the Jake Asman Show, his digital product. Today's broadcast brought to you by our friends at Play It Again Sports. Let's just take 30 seconds, learn a little bit more about our friends at Play It Again.
Warm weather sports season is here, and if you want to gear up and save money on some of the top brands of golf, soccer, and baseball equipment, and much more, Play It Again Sports can be your solution. With both new and gently used gear, Play It Again has prices way less than regular retail stores. And for all you golfers out there, get some quick money for those clubs you've got stashed away and are collecting dust. Play It Again is always looking for quality gear. No appointment necessary. Just bring it into the store. Play It Again Sports in the DeWitt Town Center on Erie Boulevard. Don't spend more. Play it again. Play It Again Sports. Syracuse.com.
All right, back here on MC Show Digital at MC Show Digital, our YouTube channel. Please click the subscribe and also hit the thumbs up, like our videos. We love if you do that. Then it gets more exposure to people out there as we're trying to grow our channel. We're talking with the great Jake Asman, all things Jets. And Jake, you mentioned Miami. I mean, come on, man. Miami is a panacea, aren't they, for any team that's in trouble? I mean, it's like the Dolphins and the Saints right now are the panacea for anyone. So let's talk about it. How much easier might this game line up for the Jets, or is it going to be easy at all?
I don't think it's going to be easy at all. In fact, I don't even know if the Jets are going to win this game. I mean, Miami can score, and we know the Jets defense, they cannot stop anyone. So first we got to see who's playing quarterback for the Jets. Is it going to be Fields? If it's going to be Tyrod, I hope it's Fields. I think Miami's allowing 145 rushing yards per game. So I think there's an avenue there for the Jets to maybe run the hell out of the ball, have long drives that limits the amount of time their own defense is out there giving up touchdowns. So I think that is something to look at. But look, it's a division game. It's in prime time. You got 2 desperate teams at 0-3. I don't think it's going to be easy. Like, the Jets are actually an underdog in this game too. So for all these Jet fans saying that they're just going to win and like, Jake, you're too hard on the team. Like, the schedule is going to be easy now. Like, all these teams are looking at the Jets like it's their get right game too. So until the Jets actually win some football games, I don't know if anyone can be confident in them winning. I think they can win. It wouldn't shock me if they did. But I think this is going to be a game that comes down to the end, and it's going to be tight. And if the Jets are not the same old Jets like their head coach claims, go out there and win it.
Jake, how confident are you in Jake, how confident are you in the New York Jets turning this thing around? They're 0-3, and to your point, there's been a lot of unimpressive moments and things that have, made your belief in this team wane a little bit. But what remaining belief is there in the Jake Asman body that the Jets can turn this thing around with Aaron Glenn?
Well, when you say turning around, do you mean like make the playoffs this season, or do you mean like big picture?
Competency, probably. I would say it may be big picture if you want to take it that far. But I mean, in the breadth of this season, of just turn around and be respected. They're 0-3 right now. They're on pace to be 0-17. Number 1 overall pick.
They won't be 0-17. I feel confident in saying that. I don't think they're going to be picking first in the draft either. I think they'll win some games, Boy Green. Am I confident that this is going to be a year where they're in the hunt in December and we actually have some false hope maybe that, they turn things around? No, I don't. I think losing that game last week was devastating. I think those fans celebrating moral victory in week 1, shame on you, because now they're 0-3. How do you feel about playing well and losing against the Steelers? Like, cool. So do I think that they're going to quote unquote turn it around and be in the mix late in the year? No. Do I think that they could do enough over the course of the season here with 14 games to go to make us feel a lot better about the direction the team is going? For sure. But 3 games in, I think they've been a poorly coached team, and I have a lot of questions about the head coach, the defensive coordinator, some of the personnel decisions the front office made. I just don't think it's been good so far. I understand they're a new regime, and I'm not saying fire anyone. It's just 3 games in. I think we were sold a lot more than what we're getting, and I think it's revisionist history by some fans to act like, oh, what did you expect? I I expected more than this. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yeah. Strategy in this one, Jake. Obviously, you've got Tyreek Hill out there. Jets, do they shadow Sauce with him? Would you do that? Give us your thoughts on how the Jets will defend against what can be at times a potent Miami offense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Sauce because you have Jalen Waddle as well, who's a really good player too. So, look, if Tyreek Hill is killing them, then put Sauce on him the whole game. If it's Waddle, I think you move Sauce over there. I'd have to go really through some of the numbers and see like who's the better target in the red zone, like who's more effective there. I'd put Sauce on that one. Like I thought it was a mistake by the Jets. The touchdown Mike Evans had. Why wasn't Sauce Gardner on him on that play? I thought that was not a good decision in hindsight. But I don't know if you're going to shadow Sauce on anyone because of the fact they have two legit weapons. But Sauce needs to play a lot better because we all want to blame Clemens, we all want to blame Stevens, and talk about all the issues the Jets have had defensively. They're paying their corner more money than any corner has ever been paid. Sauce has to play better. He was great week 1. He was bad like everyone else week 2. I thought he was up and down last week. They need more from him, so I think it's a big game for him Monday night.
Is the offensive line great? Is it good? Is it average? Is it below average? Or does it suck?
I think they've been average to above average so far. I'm really encouraged with Armand Membu. If you want to highlight a positive, I think that's a good sign. Although I know he had a tough game, but I just think they weren't well prepared last week, Boy Green. It felt like it took them way too long to adjust to the same blitz that we saw at Bowles and that defense run over and over again from the left side of the line. Brian Baldinger had a great breakdown, kind of showcasing a lot of that on his X account. So I don't know if the O-line's been terrible. I don't think they've been great. I think that it's tough when you don't get good quarterback play. It's tough when you're in a spot where you're trailing. I'd like to see against a team that's now in their weight class, if they could really establish that identity they talked all summer about being able to do running the ball. Once again, Miami's allowing 145 rushing yards per game. Should be an opportunity to get Brees, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, Fields, if he's healthy, like get them going and let the O-line do what they did so well week 1.
What's interesting is, Aaron Glenn obviously comes over from the Detroit Lions, and we saw what the Lions once were and what they have become. What an impressive victory for them over this weekend. Wow.
They forced 2 turnovers, right? They gave up 30 points, but you know what? They forced 2 turnovers. That's how you got to win in today's NFL.
And they took it to them in a way that you would expect Baltimore to take it to you. It's
right.
Literally they took their own game plan and said, yeah, we'll ram it right down your face and show you who's boss. And they did. And that was impressive. Can Glenn draw on some of that where Detroit was and how they created a winning culture? Some of that has to rub off. Obviously, their head coach, Dan Campbell, gets the credit for that or the major credit for it, but he was part of that. So does that help him in times of trouble, dare I say, with the New York Football Jets?
I think the fact that he's experienced, turning around an organization from a coaching standpoint and he saw it as a player, I think all that is super helpful for sure. I think when you look at the Lions and what they've been able to build, everyone talks about how bad they were year 1 of Dan Campbell. This Jets team has a lot more talent than that Lions team that was 3-13-1. Like this can't be one of those years for the Jets. And I'm deeply concerned because you look at this team starting 0-3 and the now it's the 4th time the last 7 years they've done that. There's only been 1 year where they won, more than 4 games during that stretch. They had a 7-9 season with Adam Gase. After they started 1-7, they won some games late against backup quarterbacks. So it's concerning so far. Obviously the Lions, they're proof that it can be done with a tortured franchise. And that's what the Jets are trying to do. But Aaron Glenn was the DC there. He wasn't the head coach. He wasn't the GM. So just because he was there doesn't mean he's going to be able to do the exact same thing here with the Jets.
I go back again. I mentioned that little dance and that play, which was an amazing play. We kind of started our interview with that. I'll just say this, Jake. Just as somebody that loves football, watches football, loves to see coaches who are, involved. I don't like the passive coach. I don't like when Doug Marrone was here coaching Syracuse. He was like stoic, and I was like, "What's with this guy? High five a player when they make a big play." Aaron Glenn, that was like the penultimate. That was like a glorious moment that unfortunately still ended up in a loss. Do you like that? You like the fiery nature of Aaron Glenn?
Yeah, I liked how he's trying to, hold guys accountable. I liked him getting in the face of Arian Smith after that brutal, procedural penalty that essentially killed their opening drive where they were actually moving the ball well. Maybe could have scored a touchdown. Then who knows? Like these things all matter. I think it's kind of lame that people are like criticizing Aaron Glenn for being excited after the Will McDonald play. Like, be excited. It's an awesome play. It's an unbelievable play. It should have won you the game, and you wasted it. So now, of course, same old Jets are going to get memed, and people are going to make fun of it. Like, that's just how it goes. I have no issue with that. I didn't love seeing him clap after the game, though, personally. I'm getting a lot of heat on Twitter for, not liking that, but like whatever. I have no issue with him dancing in game, but like right after you lose, like I don't like seeing my head coach clap. So that's the one thing I didn't love, and I didn't like his press conference after the game. But I like his personality, like on the sideline, his demeanor. I think that's what they need. You can't tell your fans you're not the same old Jets when you're 0-3 and you've blown 2 fourth quarter leads late in the game. Like I just don't think that works.
All right, Jake, let's finish off here because I'm sure this is an area you'd like to swim in, perhaps. The rivalry jerseys, baby. They're debuting for the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. This is their version. We won't see the Jets version until they host the Dolphins. They won't both be unveiled. This is the Jets version that'll come up in December in Week 14. Well, are you a rivalry jersey fan, Jake Asman?
I am not. I think they're grotesque, and I think it's just silly that they're not wearing it the same time. Now, the Jets jerseys, I get it, it's too similar in color, but I thought the whole point of these rivalry uniforms was they each were going to be wearing it when they faced off against each other. So the Jets are going to wear their normal uniforms. Miami's going to be wearing this. I don't understand why the Jets wouldn't have a rivalry uniform that's white, so it would balance the darker uniform Miami has. Like I think the Jets rivalry uniforms are kind of odd looking. Whatever. If people want to buy the gear, I'm all for it. Cool. I just think it's weird that they're not both wearing it when they play each other. It's only one's going to wear it and then the other team will wear it later. I don't know. I thought that was weird. I didn't think that made much sense.
Jake, actually, the more I think about it, it totally doesn't make sense. Rivalries in the rivalry game in which you're both playing, that only one would be then the Jake, I don't know. We should probably we'll get our crack stats together and try to see if we can discover that one. That doesn't seem to make any sense. But Jake, it's always fun talking.
That'll be buying that gear, Jake.
Hey, there you go. Right. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Jake,
he's never seen a Jets piece of gear that he didn't love.
That's also true. I will buy any jersey that exists on the planet. That's just who I am. But Jake,
hey, the tax write-off for it, Green. I mean, you're working.
Write it off, baby. Write it off.
See, there we go. Jake's a part of the staff. He knows what I'm talking about, baby. Finding the loopholes. Jake Asman of the great The Jake Asman Show, and of course, ESPN New York, and doing all your work. Jake, as always, we always appreciate your time, man.
Anytime, guys. Hopefully, next time we talk, I feel like I've said this the last couple of weeks, we actually talk after a Jet win. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Keep the faith, boys. Keep the faith. It's coming.